Hi there VC, it's Steve Whitty here with another video, another recent listens video, where I'm going to be showing 10 albums that I've listened to over about 4 weeks ago that I haven't shown before, so I hope you like what I will show you. Hope everyone's well. I'm all doing good. Weather's a bit muggy out in the UK. We've had a good day yesterday, a bit of sun. It was just that we just came on the back of a bit of a rain, and now it just feels a little bit heavy in the air. So hope it doesn't, wherever you are, the weather isn't going to spoil you all day. As I said, this is 10 records I'm going to show you. Before I actually show you, I would like to thank everybody that has been viewing and commenting on my videos. Particularly last video, if I'm a little bit behind in replying to you, apologise. I will get to do the replies today. So I hope I do appreciate the fact that people take their time out to watch channels. There's a lot of channels out there, and I know not everybody, you can't watch everyone. I know I'm a little bit behind again with the videos. So let's have a quick slurp of coffee. And let's start showing the records. So the first album I'm going to show you, this is Hawkwind's Masters of the Universe. Now this is a comp that was originally issued in 1977 through United Artists. What I've got here is the reissue that was put out on the Fame label. You can see that in 1982. As I said, this is sort of well, it isn't really a best of, because what you've got here, you've only got the 5 tracks on here. Sorry, 6 tracks on here. Master of the Universe, Brainstorm on side 1, Sonic Attack, Orgon Accumulator, It's So Easy, and Lost Johnny on side 2. There is no Silver Machine on there. I got the impression that the band never really appreciated having the hit single in the long term. I have heard live versions of Silver Machine where they come across as being totally disinterested in having it, but felt like they've had to play it. You know, it's the hit. As comics go, this is a good one. Good little introduction to Hawkwind. If you've not sure where to dip your toe in, there's a lot of product out there, and some of it of varying quality. But I would recommend this comp. And continue on the Hawkwind theme. This band's 7th album, Quark, Strangeness and Charm, which was released in 1977. You can see the cover's a little bit water damaged there. Vinyl plays great. This came out on the Charisma label. Was the first. Let me put this record back in. This was the first record not to feature Nick Turner on saxophone. He'd left the band at that point, but it does feature Robert Calvert on vocals, and in my view, this is a very much a Robert. You can tell Robert Calvert's influence on this album. It's an edgy sounding album. In a way, it sort of fits in with the times. It's 77, what was coming out then. I would almost say it's almost like a new wave. I wouldn't say punk, but I would say a sort of an edgy new wave type album from Hawkwind. And it's a really good album, actually. I think once you've dipped your toe in with Hawkwind, there's the back cover there. I think what you'll find is some surprising listens. I want to dig out some more Hawkwind, I must admit. We want to know about their classic 70 period, but there's some really good stuff out there. Also from 1977, this is Jethro Tull's Songs of the Wood. This is an original Green Chrysalis label. This band's 10th album, and this album marked a change of direction for the band. Then it sort of moved from the more rockier edge into more of a folky folk rock style, and this is the first of a trilogy of albums that sort of celebrate the countryside and sort of pagan folklore. The other two, the 2 following albums, Heavy Horses and Stormwatch, sort of followed on the trend. It was a very successful album for the band. It sold over 1 million copies in the States alone. one track on it. He obviously got Songs from the Wood, the title track. It's well known, but also the last song on side one, Ring Out Solstice Bells, has suddenly now got a life of its own. Now it comes out it gets played a bit on Christmas, and it comes on features on Christmas album compilations now. I like it. It's a very good album. But then I'm a bit biased. I have really got into Tull recently, so it's worth checking out. Next album, it's Janis Joplin's Farewell Song. Now this it's a comp that came out in 1982, and it's basically a comp of previously unreleased material, which features Janis with Big Brother and the Holding Company, Cosmic Blues Band, and the Phil Tilt Boogie Band. So you've got on here, I'm just trying to think. You've got side one, Tell Mama, side two, Magic of Love. Let me start again. Side one, Tell Mama, Magic of Love, Misery and One Night Stand, Harry, Raise Your Hand, Farewell Song, medley of Amazing Grace and High Heel Sneakers, and Catch Me Daddy, which features on side two. It's mainly live sort of stuff, like songs, and there's this CBS album. So it's one for a completion for it. So someone that was looking to have a complete Janis Joplin. As I said, it released in 1982. This copy used to belong to Avon County Libraries. And it was, for a library record, it's in really actually reasonable nick. Records that that used to go to like music libraries. Because they used to come out and go out often. You know, not everybody looked after the records as good as probably what the standard we'd look after them. That'd be nicked or fingerprints or whatever. So yeah, that's a nice little album there. Turn my notes over. Next album is it's The Best of Judas Priest. Now this is that came out in 1978. And it's the tracks really feature on the first two albums, Rock and Roll and Sad Wings of Destiny, which came out on the Gold label. The band at this point was starting to get successful. Here's the label. It's on Red Gold label, which is a bit more unusual. And there's the band at the back there. It is a cash-in. Basically, at this point, the band was starting to get some momentum. Sin After Sin had come out, had Stained Glass had come out as well, and had got some sort of success. And this is probably the first of many best-ofs that go released to sort of cash in on their publicity, all done without the band's permission, of course. Band never saw any penny. If it sold, never saw any penny for it. Obviously the songs on here, some classic songs on here, Rock and Roll and Never Satisfied, Dying to Meet You, Diamonds Rust. Now I thought that was on Sin After Sin, so maybe this is an earlier version that they recorded. It was sitting in the vaults. Side 2, Victim of Change, Island of Domination, Deceiver and The Ripper. Showing more Priest from 1978, again, Killing Machine. Which, in a sense, was really the breakthrough for them in the UK. CBS there. Known as Hellbent for Leather in the US, I think it got its name changed. I think the Columbia executives in the US were a bit nervous about the title. There'd been a school shooting in 1979, and maybe maybe this for Killing Machine. I think several people were killed at the Cleveland Elementary School. So I think label got so they renamed it Hellbent for Leather, which was just happened to be a track on the album. The band was on this album was moving towards a more commercial direction, and in fact in the UK they spawned a couple of hit singles, Take On the World, which was the top 20 in the UK, and then Evening Star, which just missed the top 40. And then this is the last album that featured Les Binks on drums. So there you go, Killing Machine, Judas Priest. From 1979, this is Nazareth No Means City. The band's 10th album. The title of the album comes from a 1935 novel called No Means City, of course. And this is basically a novel that describes the Gorbals district of Glasgow. For those who are not aware, Glasgow is quite a hard city, but the Gorbals was notorious. It was a sort of run-down slum area of the city, and there were a lot of gangs and fights, right? Stabbings, whatever, gang warfare. Made Peaky Blinders seem like a teddy bear's picnic in a way. The album's significant is that Sal Clemenson had recently left the sensational Alex Harvey band and had come in to add as a second guitarist on the album. The album itself actually spawned a surprise hit single, Star, the final track on side one. It was probably the last hit single actually, but it was a surprise. It was a slightly softer rock song, but yeah, it's actually a very good album. I know they're just in the process of reissuing all the Nazareth albums on coloured vinyl, coming out in a couple of weeks. Not sure if I'll go that far because I think I could get the originals pretty cheaply. Found this for a couple of quid. This is Rolling Stones. This is Black and Blue. You can see on the band, on the cover there, you got Ronnie Wood. It's the first album to feature Ron, though he doesn't play on all the tracks. Keith plays the majority of the guitar parts on this album. It's fair to say this album is a mixture of styles. You've got Fall to Cry, the lead single, but you've then also on here, if the track's out, you've got Fall to Crazy Mama, Hot Stuff, their version of Cherry Out Baby, which the Eric Donaldson song, which UB40 had a big hit with. It was very mishmash of styles at that point. It's fair to say when the album came out, the reaction was mixed. Some loved it, but Lester Bangs, the well-known critic at the time, well, he called it a bit of an achievement because it was the first meaningless Stones album ever to be released. I quite liked it, but it's not my favourite Stones album. It's fair to say, and I think maybe that mishmash of styles. Band, I don't know, maybe looking for direction. I don't know. It's difficult. Some would say they hit their peak. They're coming off their peak with Sticky Fingers, Exile, and Goat's Head Soup, and I Know It's Only Rock and Roll. Yeah, it maybe, I don't know, searching for a direction. I don't know. It's not as good. You compare it to those albums, it's not as good. This is Reckless Eric's Big Smash. Now this came out in 1980. Sorry, this is a double album, and it's one of these where disc one, comes on the Stiff label. This one is an album of new material, and disc 2 is an album of his greatest hits. So probably the best known song on here on disc 2 is "I Go the Whole Wide World," and it's all right. The record's not in great nick. There is a bit of a scratch on there, but I enjoyed it. There's some good songs on here. Veronica's another good song. Eric Goulden, as he's known to his mum and dad, he's still going. He's still touring. Certainly worth picking up. I certainly would recommend this album for anyone that's interested in sort of like that late 70s new wave period. I wouldn't even put him in. Actually, if I say new wave, I think he's just a singer-songwriter, a bit like Elvis Costello. There was a few of those knocking around, and I think he sort of falls down the bottom of the list. He just had that one song. The final album I'm going to show you today, it's Motorhead's Another Perfect Day. Their 6th album, released in 1993. This, if I remember rightly, I think he's a Greek pressing. Certainly not a UK bronze, but a UK pressing. Marked the change of fortunes for the band in the UK. Eddie Clark had left, he'd fallen out with Lemmy, and Brian Robertson, ex-Finley, he was brought in. And he was initially accepted within the band. However, I think Lemmy initially was very dissatisfied with this album because of the amount of time it took. Brian Robertson, one of these guitarists, quite a few guitarists do this, taking a hell of a lot of time to put their parts together. They want their parts right, and also at that time, his look was somewhat different to what the band's fans were used to, and I don't think the fans took to him. His look, he had a headband on, and he looked like he was coming from a gym session. It totally opposite of Phil Taylor and Lemmy, what it looked like, and what Eddie Clark. I think the beauty of the original that Motorhead lineup was it looked like a gang, like all bands. And when the record came out, it didn't do as well. And then Lemmy hated the record. It's only with the amount of time that people have come round to say that he enjoyed the record. Indeed, Lemmy did come to enjoy it. He just found that if at the time it took that long to record, he got fed up with it. Some great songs on here. Dancing on Your Grave, I love. Another Perfect Day. Tales of Glory. It actually is a very good album. You put it up there as an album. It's a very good album. You're going to compare it to Ace of Spades. No, it won't. It won't match up. But on its own, yeah, I think it's a very good album. So there you go, VC. That's all the records I'm going to show you today. I hope you like the choices I've shown. Now, if you're new to the channel and you like what you see, click on the subscribe button. More subscribers, the merrier. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Love the interaction. We'll get back to you if you leave a comment as well. So enjoy your Sunday, VC. Until the next video, take care of yourselves. Keep spinning. And more importantly, keep smiling.